These are the first HDR display glasses you can buy for $299, and the display is legit impressive, but there's a catch, and that could matter depending on how you plan to use them. I've reviewed a lot of display glasses recently, and each time it comes back to the same questions. How good are the displays? How comfortable are they? And does the price actually make sense? The RayNeo Air 4 Pro is addressing the displays in a unique way because for the first time in this category, you're getting HDR10 support at a budget price. So the real question is, how that actually changes the experience. I'm Jason Howell. RayNeo sent me the Air 4 Pro for review. They have no say in the editorial content of this video. Let's dive in. First, before we talk about the display or HDR, it helps to understand what kind of device this actually is. You might hear AR glasses and think these do more than they actually do. So no, there is no spatial awareness, no world mapping. It's essentially a portable monitor that you plug into a phone, laptop, a gaming console that puts a private screen directly in front of your eyes wherever you happen to look. And sure, there are more expensive glasses that offer more immersive features, but those can cost upwards of $700. RayNeo approaches this differently. Their goal is to push display quality at relatively low price points. That makes the Air 4 Pro one of the most affordable entry points into wearable display glasses, especially with specs like these. And it all happens inside the displays themselves. The glasses use dual 1080p micro OLED panels, one for each eye, and that means deep blacks, high contrast, wide color gamut, and nice bright visuals with 1200 nits of peak brightness. They also support 60 Hz and 120 Hz refresh rates. And honestly, things look really good, especially for this price. And this is where the Air 4 Pro starts to set itself apart from most display glasses in this category, let alone this price range. See, standard video uses a limited brightness and contrast range, but these glasses support HDR10, which expands that range significantly. That means brighter highlights, deeper shadows, and a more lifelike image as a result. So the real question is whether that improvement actually becomes immediately noticeable in wearable glasses, especially because, frankly, not many smartphones support HDR10 out of the USB-C port. In fact, I couldn't get the Pixel 10 Pro or the Galaxy S26 Ultra to switch to HDR10 through that port. The only device that worked, at least in my arsenal, was my MacBook Pro once I enabled HDR and macOS settings for the glasses when I plugged them in. And yes, things look great in HDR. A definite improvement in the dynamic range, that is the brightness of brights and darkness of darks. But whether you will benefit from those gains really depends on the device you're using with it. I'm told the most recent iPhones do, the Switch 2 as well. That's two things I don't have to test against. But it definitely comes with a bit of a trade-off. When HDR10 mode is active, the glasses run at 60 Hz refresh, not 120 Hz. That makes gaming a little less satisfying, means you have to make the decision between higher dynamic range visuals and higher refresh rates. Many gamers are gonna choose the latter, and that defeats the purpose of that HDR support, in that case anyways. Now, of course, display quality only matters if the glasses are comfortable enough to wear for long sessions. And honestly, I found the Air 4 Pro to be pretty comfortable over longer periods with minimal heat buildup at that forehead area. That's a common issue with competitors that I didn't experience as much here. Also, they sit comfortably on the bridge of my nose. The arms are flexible, so that's gonna help with larger heads. And the glasses feel reasonably balanced and definitely light at 76 grams. I do, however, experience, once again, a limited view of the extreme corners of the display. Now, I tried both of the nose attachments that ship here. Neither address this in my use. I really think this comes down to the structure of your individual face. It's a bummer to have the edges of the display trimmed from view, especially when you're operating in like desktop mode or Samsung DeX mode. Now, once you actually start watching content through the glasses, the next thing you notice after the display is, of course, the audio. And RayNeo is obviously very proud of their partnership with Bang & Olufsen, who helped provide the tech driving the 4-speaker system. Those little speakers deliver some pretty solid sound, and in the right environment, it sounds pretty good. And temper your expectations because there's no subwoofer action happening here or anything like that on the low end, but That tuning, along with some unique modes for surround sound like spatialization and more focused sound tube mode for noisy environments, actually brings a bit more than just the basics to the audio capabilities of the glasses. It is important to remember though, that because these are open speakers rather than earbuds, sound doesn't stay completely private. Those open speakers are going to leak sound into the room, and it's noticeable to someone sitting nearby. That sound tube feature that I mentioned, along with another feature called whisper mode, which was found on some of the previous glasses that I've reviewed, none of them offer a truly fully private listening experience. They help, but they don't offer it completely. And they can alter the sound in other ways, like narrowing the soundstage. But I'm really glad that RayNeo included them as options nonetheless. Now, talking about audio quality on these glasses actually got me thinking about something I care a lot about as a musician, making sure my ears stay healthy enough to appreciate that quality for a long time, which is why I'm thrilled to partner with Hears for this video. Though honestly, my opinions are my own because frankly, they're that good. Hears makes premium earplugs designed to reduce harmful noise while keeping sound clear and natural with their patented high-fidelity attenuation filters. It's literally like having a volume knob for the world around you. Because did you know that hearing damage starts at 85 decibels? Live music, that can hit 140 dB. So this stuff really matters. Now I've got two models. The Hears one in clear glass with 20 decibels of noise reduction, perfect for loud sporting events like my daughter's indoor volleyball games, gets really loud there, but also live music, busy coffee shops, places I find myself constantly. I can even still hear and talk to people while I'm wearing them. The bad stuff just stays out. The Hears Plus in Nebula Navy bumps that up to 25 decibels of noise reduction. This is the pair that I grab when I'm traveling. It's perfect for trade show floors or very long flights. What makes these different from foam plugs is the patented membrane filter that acts like a second eardrum. Instead of muffling everything the way you've heard before and making the world sound underwater, music still sounds full spectrum. Conversations remain easy to follow. You're just turning down the dangerous parts. Now, if you open my travel bag right now, you're going to find whatever smart glasses I'm testing at the time, and you'll always find a set of Hears in there. Because I never know when a dinner might turn into a loud night out. And honestly, I'd rather have them and not need them than the other way around. They come with a few different tip sizes, they're hypoallergenic, and the case fits easily inside a pocket. So there's no reason not to have them on you. Look, I'm in a band, I go to shows, I travel constantly. I take hearing protection seriously because I still want to enjoy high fidelity sound 20 years from now. Hears makes that possible. And you can find the link and discount code down in the description, and that helps support this channel when you order a pair. Now, RayNeo also promotes an XR companion app that's meant to expand what the glasses can do beyond simple display mirroring. At the time of this review, that app, which is called RayNeo XR, is only available through their website and requires sideloading on Android. But that app manages firmware updates, pretty important. That worked for me only after failing the first time. Thankfully, it didn't brick the glasses in the process, so you're gonna wanna bring some patience. And once the app is working, what it offers is actually fairly simple. The interface mainly functions as a media viewer, so you can browse local media files, pictures, videos you've recorded or loaded onto the phone. The app can add AI-generated depth to photos, but don't get too excited. The effect requires processing, just a couple of seconds, and isn't entirely convincing. This feature could definitely use some more work. And that depth effect cannot be applied to your videos the way it can be on competing headsets like the XREAL 1S. Overall, the scope is pretty limited, even more so actually than when I reviewed this app in my RayNeo Air 3S review last year. It's a basic media viewer where you can play your local files and even side-by-side 3D video files if you happen to have those, and that's about it. Fortunately, there's a much simpler way to watch 3D content on these glasses. As with previous versions, you can simultaneously tap the brightness and volume buttons to switch into SBS 3D mode. If you have a supported media file on the ready, maybe in your file manager or inside YouTube, switching to that mode brings that video into full 3D view inside the glasses. And once done, it's a pretty solid viewing experience. You tap those same buttons to exit back to 2D mode, which you're going to need to do to navigate the YouTube environment without giving yourself a headache. Now, I've already mentioned some of the competitors, and I think it's worth addressing quickly what they offer for more money. Some competitors like the XREAL 1S at $449 and the Viture Beast at $549 offer a more graceful head tracking mode, electrochromic dimming lenses that make the glasses easier to use in bright environments and in multitasking scenarios, and even pinning, repositioning, and resizing the virtual screen. Some of those features actually veer closer to the realm of true augmented reality. But clearly, you're going to pay much more for those features. As nice as they are, I really do appreciate RayNeo's commitment to bringing quality display tech to a lower price point with basic features that satisfy most needs. So the real question becomes who these glasses are actually for. And honestly, the ideal buyer of the Air 4 Pro is someone who just wants a private display for travel, maybe watching a movie in bed, casual viewing on the couch, the ability to connect it to their smartphone, laptop, and gaming console with minimal fuss and to save some money in the process. It's really that simple. So after spending time using the RayNeo Air 4 Pro across all those surfaces, I feel like these glasses land in a unique place in this category. The display quality is genuinely impressive for the price. HDR is a standout feature that even more expensive devices can't brag about, and their flexibility means they'll probably work plugged into most devices you'd want to use them with. Just a really dependable pair of portable screen glasses, though definitely not a full spatial computing device for your face, not yet. Now that we've seen how the RayNeo Air 4 Pro pushes display quality with HDR at a much lower price, it raises an interesting question about where display glasses are actually heading, because some glasses are adding features that this doesn't have at all. Spatial features that can pin your screen in space, adjust the viewing distance like I mentioned, and even convert normal video into real-time 3D. Really cool stuff. So watch this next video where I take a deep dive into the XREAL 1S and show you how those spatial features change the experience and whether they actually make AR display glasses feel closer to true XR. And thank you so much for watching my review of the RayNeo Air 4 Pro glasses. We'll see you in the next one.